The 3rd of November 2024, and it's just 4 o'clock. Just 4 o'clock in the evening. It's getting dull. There's a wee bit of moisture in the air, but it's not too bad. This is, for those of you who don't know, Bertie Ahern. And someone says that my photograph's like this on the poster. Is that right? This is Bertie Ahern. He was the son of a Dublin custom official. And he became the Taoiseach. He was the Minister for Finance, I think, under Charles Haughey. Now, Charles Haughey's term in office, the Gubu period, it was strange to say the least. And they used to say long ago, Fianna Fáil was a good party for the economy, but they were hooky. Or hooky, if you know what that means. And Bertie never had a bank account, and there were public inquiries. He never held a bank account at all. So anyway, enough said. However, the psychology of some of these people is a bit difficult to understand. And as a very long time Irishman living in Ireland here, you have to kind of get the feel of it. They're always looking for an advantage. And there's a thing called cute hooer, H-O-O-R. It probably originated from the word W-H-O-R-E, but it's not meant that. It means a hooer is a fella that'll do something on you or that you couldn't trust. He's a hooer, that fella, in his heart. So you couldn't trust him. So in any event, it's usually always to do with money or land or something or houses. But to say that neither Charlie Haughey nor Bertie to say that we're not patriots would not be very true. Deep down, they probably would not sell out their country. In fact, I think they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't do that. They were Irish men, really. They weren't the best quality Irish men, but they were Irish men. And a direct sellout, as is happening now, would probably not happen. In any event, Bertie is retired, and we're talking about him for the president, but he's on gripped media here. So he says that he was interviewed by Eamon Dumphy, who's a soccer pundit. I don't know what that's about, but he was interviewed by him. He says the current asylum policy is not well thought out. So we'll just read what he has to say. The government's current policy of putting significant numbers of asylum seekers into hotels in small towns and villages across the country is not well thought out. Now, you can be sure when Bertie Ahern says not well thought out, he'd much rather use more stiff language, okay? Just getting the light of here. Now, according to Bertie Ahern, who added the current immigration rates are making life more difficult in the rental market and other places, making life impossible. Youngsters can't go to towns like Athlone and take houses for the winter. Once there's houses there, they'll be horsing the asylum seekers by the government that he was once the party of. Micheál Martin, who loves asylum, craves it, laughed at the Swedish foreign minister in the parliament in Europe when he said there'd be 500 million people coming here. He thought that was great. Isn't that fantastic? The other fella, Harris, no better. A tea-buy for some of them. That's all he was. And then Sinn Féin wants this there. Declan McKerney in Northern Ireland is on the record there. He wants multiculturalism, as many as we can get. So that's the sad part. And then, of course, the Greens we don't have to talk about those. They're already there. Speaking on the Stand podcast with Eamon Dumphy on Wednesday, the former Taoiseach was discussing the issue of housing in the context of what he called a huge increase in population. When I was minister first, that'd be back, I'd say 1992, maybe around that, around that. When I was minister first, it was 3.5 million people in our population. That's in the Republic of Ireland. Now we're heading for 5.5 million. And Eamon Ryan said in 2016 in the Dáil he wants 5 million on the whole island. So that would be add another 4. So if you took, at the time he said that, there was about 4 million. So 8 million is Eamon Ryan's target. So there was 3.5 million on our population. Now he was a minister, so he should know. Now we're heading for 5.5 million. Probably by the end of this decade. We're at 5.5 million by the end of this decade. Now that's clear to say. Now we're heading for 5.5 million, probably by the end of this decade. It's a huge increase. And I'm determined to make sure they do not get 5.5 million in here. I'll stand at the door and they'll not get in. That's as simple as that. Woke or no woke. I'm telling you that now. I don't care whether I'm agreed with or not. He said that while housing numbers were increasing, which is desired as a help, which he described as a help. Now, I'm reading bad light here. He said that while housing numbers were increasing, which he described as a help, the country would need to build 50,000 houses a year just to hold where we are, and that this was a big challenge just in terms of building them, if there were no other difficulties. So in other words, even if we stopped migration now, we'd need 50,000 houses a year. And that's something. That's with no migration coming more. The former Fianna Fáil leader then went on to raise the issue of immigration. The other issue, if you were just talking to people, he would live around Drumconda there in Dublin, just talking to people, is the various issues around immigration, he said. We've seen that in the past few years. I think people are very tolerant here. They want people to be given a chance. They wouldn't allow in Asia Bibi, Asi Noreen, a Catholic woman sentenced to death. I don't buy it. In the coming election, it's simple, folks. There's those on that side that want all this. And there's me party, the Irish Freedom Party, and maybe a few other. You put your vote whichever side you want, whichever one you want to do. And that's as simple as that. And we know, you'll not wear me down. I'll tell you, that's one thing. But I won't probably make it. I mean, I mightn't get elected, we don't know. But I'm giving you my view on it. And let them live with it then after that. It is unbelievable that a young boy or girl can't go off over to a university town and get a place to stay. And their people at home are going to vote for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. That's the situation. Anyway, given a chance, what chance? Surely there's poverty in the whole world. Surely it's always better come to somewhere where you get treated like this. How many? Ask them, those who want migration. How many do you want? We know Eamon Ryan wants 5 million on the island, 4 million into the Republic. That's the only one to ever put a figure on it. But they do worry that there seems to be a large number of people coming into this country. All right, do that. Yeah, some people do. Well, I'm hoping to tap that. My party and other parties on my side are hoping to tap into those, that they have no option. You go in there or you go in there. Oh, I voted for Fianna Fáil. I'm not that happy about the migration now. Listen here, it's now or never. It's now or never. There is no second chance. Now, so anyway, interviewer Eamon Dumphy then put it to Ahern that the government's policy of putting asylum seekers into hotels in small towns and villages across the country has not been well thought out. That's the understatement of the year. It's nothing to do with thought out. They're too cowardly to stop it. They won't say no to the EU. And they love it. This is the point. The government of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Greens and Sinn Féin absolutely crave as many migrants as they can get into the country. As many. County Longford is inundated with migrants, and James Reynolds only got 1,000 votes. So it's up. This is the point. It's historical. What the people will do. Now, no, they haven't. So it haven't been thought out, says Mr. Ahern. They haven't thought this out. They don't think out anything. Assessment is not in the vocabulary of this government. I think the Irish people are very tolerant, but they do worry about the number of people who arrived on our shores. He added, it's a big challenge for the political system. Well, if the people want migration, should the politicians have to deliver? It's just as simple as that. Now, Dumphy said that the common argument was that because Ireland can't look after our own, it made little sense to take in new individuals, and said that some people think such views, given legitimacy to the anti-mass migration protests that have been taking place in recent years. Now, you understand that some think that such views give legitimacy to the protests. So now the issue of your right to protest is straight away on the table. Back in the day, our concerns in general elections was immigration. Now, back in the day, our concerns in general elections was emigration, going out. So he was saying is that long ago, the whole worry was people leaving, emigration. Now, so they had no option but to emigrate. And now the coin has turned over completely where the people come in here. That doesn't make it right, whatever has changed. Ahern said that while many people entering Ireland from abroad have talents, well, there's nobody denying that they'll be assessed and come in through vetting process. And I've been treated, and other people have been treated by nurses and all of that. We're not arguing about that. 50 years ago, they were allowed to come in here and want to work. He said immigration is putting pressure on accommodation. It is making life more difficult for rental, for local authorities, and I think it will be an issue at the doors in the election. It's been for the past few years. So how big an issue, the voters will have to decide. It's as simple as that. Notably, in February 2023, Ahern rejoined his old party of Fianna Fáil more than 10 years after leaving the party, which some speculate may indicate a desire to re-involve himself in some kind of political life. Now, that's it. Some said he was wanted to be the president. I don't know. But it's noteworthy that he was the leader of this country. So how big an issue is it? It's the major issue. Having no control on who comes and goes to your country and anyone can come in and do what they like is mad, stone mad. And it's so mad that it's forcing me to get up and quit my good life to do something about it. We'll see you back for something else. That's the story there on Grip Media and by Eamon Dumphy, who's a well-known pundit for soccer and all that, but he's semi-retired. Good luck. We'll see you soon. Thank you.